Good morning everyone, happy Monday. I am so sorry for my congested voice throughout this video. As you can tell, I'm still getting over my cold, but Thanksgiving is this week and I really wanted to make sure I got this video out for some super easy Thanksgiving recipes. Today I'm making cranberry sauce, mini pumpkin pies, sweet and savory butternut squash, and garlic mashed potatoes. I have all of these recipes added to a Thanksgiving blog post on my website at typicalboymom.com, and I will make sure to link it in the description box below. These recipes are so easy and so delicious. Let's get cooking. Let's start with a super easy recipe and a Thanksgiving staple, cranberry sauce. Don't get me wrong, I love canned cranberry sauce, but this one is really delicious too, and it is super simple. First, I am adding 3 cups of washed whole cranberries right into a large pot, and then I have half a cup of orange juice. You will also need half a cup of water, 2/3 cup of white sugar, and 1/3 cup of brown sugar. Now I am adding in 1 tablespoon of ginger paste, and you'll need about a tablespoon of orange zest. Lastly, we will season with 2 teaspoons of cinnamon and 1 teaspoon of nutmeg. Now let's turn the stove on to medium heat and give it a stir. I'm going to stir this every few minutes, and once it starts to boil, start the timer for 8 minutes. After the 8 minutes, you should see that it thickened considerably, and you will want to see that the cranberries have split open. Once fully cooked, I'm adding it into a glass bowl and letting it sit on the counter and cool for about 30 minutes, and then I can keep this in my fridge until it is ready to eat. This cranberry sauce is so yummy. It's super sweet and a little tart. It is delicious. Next recipe is going to be my mini pumpkin pies. These are so easy and delicious, and I actually make them with coconut milk, so they are dairy-free. First, we are going to add 3 eggs into a bowl and whisk them. You don't need an electric hand mixer, but I do find it's easier, but totally not necessary. Once the eggs are all whisked, I'm going to open a can of pumpkin puree. You will need the whole can, or approximately 2 cups of pumpkin puree, and then we will need 1 cup of full-fat coconut milk. Again, just grabbing my hand mixer to combine everything together. Now to finish this off, I am adding 3/4 cups of brown sugar, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 2 teaspoons of pumpkin pie spice, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, and half a teaspoon of nutmeg. We are using store-bought pie crust today because we are busy moms and we don't have time to make pie crust. So I got the pie crust from Pillsbury, and it comes with 2 rolls, and it was the perfect amount of pie crust to make 24 of these mini pies. And honestly, I wish I bought another pack because I had a ton of extra filling. So I am just using a glass cup that I got out of my cabinet to make a bunch of these mini circles and then placing them into my muffin tins. I used every bit of the dough. Then to fill these up, you will need about a 1/4 cup of filling for each pie. These are going to go into the oven at 350 degrees for about 30 minutes. These were such a hit with my family, and Bennett absolutely loved them as well. Look how cute these turned out. Seriously, the easiest recipe, and they turned out so good. Our next recipe is a sweet and savory butternut squash. Butternut squash is one of those foods that just makes me think of the holidays, and I love making it this way. First, let's peel our butternut squash. You will need a good peeler for this thing. These things can be tough to peel. Once it is peeled, I just chopped off the ends, cut it in half lengthwise, and scooped out all the seeds. Now we can chop it into bite-sized cubes. Adding this into a large bowl with 1 tablespoon of brown sugar, 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 1 tablespoon of fresh thyme, and 2 tablespoons of chopped garlic. Give that a good mix, then onto our baking sheet and into the oven at 400 degrees for about 20 to 25 minutes. These are such a tasty treat and such a perfect side dish for Thanksgiving. Last recipe of the day is garlic mashed potatoes, a Thanksgiving staple of course. These are so creamy and so flavorful. First, we are going to peel and chop 4 russet potatoes. Of course, double the recipe if you have more people coming to your Thanksgiving dinner. And then I'm going to get a large pot. I'm adding in about 6 cups of water along with some salt, and then I'm going to throw in our potatoes and turning the heat on high. While that is coming up to a boil, in a separate pan, I'm adding in about a 1/4 cup of butter along with a 1/4 cup of minced garlic. Cooking this on medium heat for about 5 to 10 minutes, letting the garlic cook and letting the butter melt. Also adding in about 2 teaspoons of rosemary, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and half a teaspoon of pepper. Now the potatoes have been cooking for about 25 to 30 minutes and they are nice and tender, so I drained the water, and while they are still hot, I'm using a spatula and a colander and mashing the potatoes through the colander. This takes a little bit of time, but it makes such a smooth and airy texture. It took me about 10 minutes for this amount of potatoes. Once that is done, adding in that garlic butter along with a 1/2 cup of milk and 2 tablespoons of cream. Mixing that together, then topping it with some butter and parsley. My family loves mashed potatoes, so definitely making a double batch of this on Thanksgiving. Again, so sorry for the congested voice throughout this video, but I really hope that this video was helpful. Let me know in the comments below what your favorite Thanksgiving food is. I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and I will see you next Monday with a new video.